Hello, this is Vikash Rungta here, from Product Marketing Manager at Infinera, managing the software and automation solutions. And I'm here at MEF18 in Los Angeles, California, and we just demonstrated with CenturyLink how to get rid of complexity in the network using AI and some of the advanced tools. The challenge today that we are facing, the service providers are facing, is pretty big. The networks are growing pretty fast with the adoption of new applications like IoT, virtual reality, 5G, VR. And what's that doing is it's kind of expanding the amount of, not only expanding the amount of data that is required for this network, but also changing the patterns very rapidly. For example, if you might be traveling on an autonomous driving car and the network needs to kind of adapt to the location where it has to be located. So it's not possible for the service providers to kind of manage these networks manually anymore, right? So that's putting a lot of stress on the CapEx and the OpEx of how much they have to, how do you manage that within the service provider. There are two ways to address that. The CapEx we are definitely addressing by kind of advancing better optical engines within Infinera, but also what about the OpEx? The OpEx has to do with the taking away the complexity of the network. And we at Infinera believe that we can take away the complexity of the network by implementing something called cognitive networks. What cognitive networks do is, it's a way of machines to kind of learn. If you, how do you understand the network changes or behavior and adapt to that? Give you an example is like every time there is a change in the network behavior or there is an error, the machines have to kind of detect what's going on and they have to learn why the error happened, and they have to figure out how do you take an action to actually program the network so that it can adapt to that new change. And all this has to be done based on a policy that the customer has defined. And if we can automate the whole thing through machine learning and AI, then we should be able to achieve something called cognitive network. Now, in the demo that we just demonstrated at MEF18, we partnered with CenturyLink, where we actually deployed some of these automation tools on a live network at CenturyLink. And we were able to kind of look at how an XT3300 box from Infinera, multiple of them, were streaming telemetry using gRPC to a Kafka bus, right? So this is kind of continuously feeding the data and the PM data and the information to the Kafka bus, which is an open bus and a protocol. And that was then further connected to either the CenturyLink apps, which were able to kind of understand and get notification based on the changes, or a feed of that was going to some of our intelligence engine. And what the intelligence engine does is kind of continuously learn the behavior and the changes in the network, takes that, understands that, reason around that, and finally kind of make a decision of how the network needs to change or a notification needs to be sent. And all this is done over time. It gets smarter and smarter using AI, and it kind of adapts to the requirement and the policies of the customer. And finally, what we demonstrated is the intelligence engine was actually able to control the network and create an extra EVC or do other kind of functions. So we'd love to kind of have you guys come and look at our demo further if you want. We have a setup, very similar setup at Infinera Labs. So come on by at Infinera and take a look at the demo with us.